The real reason murder in a small town is failing comes down to one mistake. Hey everyone, it's Sophia from Breakdown Epic, and I need to ask you something right out of the gate. What's worse than watching your favorite murder mystery crash and burn? Not because the cast is bad, not because the writing is lazy, but because the show itself doesn't even understand what kind of show it's supposed to be. That's right, today we're pulling apart the real reason murder in a small town is failing. And spoiler, it's not about streaming wars, it's not about Netflix eating network TV alive, and it's not even about the book series aging badly. It comes down to one single mistake, and once I tell you, you'll see it everywhere in the show, like an obvious bloodstain they keep pretending isn't there. Now, I'll be honest with you. I went into Murder in a Small Town Season 1 hyped. You had a solid cast, Noah Reid popping up, Rossif Sutherland carrying that mysterious stoic energy, and a best-selling book series behind it. On paper this thing should have been Fox's cozy murder, mystery crown jewel. I even told a friend, this could be our network answer to Only Murders in the Building. I was ready for quirky suspects, cute town drama, and mysteries so ridiculous you'd almost expect a cat to paw at the murder weapon. But instead what did we get? A show that looks like it can't decide if it's a warm blanket or a knife to the throat. And trust me, I love both vibes. But mixing them together without committing, that's TV poison. Let me paint this picture for you. You're watching the opening. A murder happens. But instead of leaning into that murder she wrote charm, maybe a quirky small town bake, off gone wrong. We get grim, shadowy cinematography that looks ripped out of Broadchurch. It whispers, this is prestige crime drama. Then cut to the librarian and cop romance subplot, and suddenly it's like the show wants to be Virgin River with blood. My brain screaming pick a lane. And here's the pain point, audiences don't mind predictable mysteries. In fact, we crave them. There's actual psychology behind this. Dr. Alexandra Gold at Harvard put it perfectly. Predictability soothes us. With the world spinning out of control, people turn to murder mysteries not for chaos but for order. The killer gets caught, the puzzle resolves, life resets. That's why formula matters. That's why the most obvious killer reveal at the end of a season doesn't make a show bad. It makes it satisfying. You beat the detective to the punch, you feel smart, dopamine fires, and you're hooked. But Murder in a Small Town is terrified of predictability. It tries to smother the cozy genre formula under this moody, gritty filter. And here's the kicker. The books didn't even need that formula. The first Alberg and Cassandra book was revolutionary precisely because the murderer was revealed up front. The drama wasn't who did it. It was why. That's the forbidden knowledge Fox completely missed. Instead of embracing that psychological exploration of motive, the network tried to Frankenstein together romance tropes, procedural beats, and heavy crime drama aesthetics. The result? Nothing feels authentic. It's like Fox wanted their own Knives Out but forgot what makes Knives Out fun. Self-awareness and unapologetic commitment to the trope. And let me drop the shocking statement, if Fox doesn't fix this identity crisis, Murder in a Small Town is walking straight into cancellation. Slowly, painfully, season by season, you can almost hear the death march already. Now, before I get into the secrets of what this show could have been, and how it could still be saved, you need to do me one huge favor. If you're here breaking down failed mysteries, unfinished arcs, and shows that just don't get themselves, you need to hit subscribe to Breakdown Epic right now. Trust me, the best twists are still coming, and you don't want to be left on the outside when they drop. Okay, back to it. Let's reveal the core mistake. And no, it's not predictability, like some critics think. That's surface level. The real forbidden truth is this: Fox didn't respect the genre. They treated cozy murder mystery as just another TV checkbox. Romance subplot here, birding cop there, a little blood, a little banter. But genre isn't seasoning you sprinkle on top. Genre is the whole recipe. Think about Only Murders in the Building. That show is predictable. The trio bumble around, you guess the killer by mid-season, and yet you're glued to every frame. Why? Because it knows it's a cozy whodunit. It leans into tropes with a wink. It respects the comfort while still surprising you emotionally. Same with Knives Out. Rian Johnson didn't hide that he was making a campy, theatrical mystery. He said, let's go full Clue board game but with Oscar winners. And audiences ate it up. Murder in a Small Town could have leaned into that. Imagine if each episode followed a tight procedural rhythm, quirky murder setup, colorful suspects, a sprinkle of small town drama, witty banter between Cassandra and Alberg, them killer caught. Next week, repeat. That's comfort food. That's rewatchable. That's fandom bait. But instead we get tonal whiplash that alienates cozy fans and thriller fans. And here's the wild part. The show even has moments where it brushes against brilliance. That early conversation between Alberg and Cassandra, pulled straight from the books. Chef's kiss. But Fox buried that under network notes that screamed, make it sexier! Make it darker! Make it broader. And by doing all three, they made it nothing. Now I want to throw a poll to you guys. Drop your answers in the comments, because I'm dying to know. If you had to save Murder in a Small Town, which way would you go? Option A, lean full cozy procedural, weekly murders, quirky suspects, romance banter turned up to 11. Option B, strip out the romance, go full dark psychological drama, honor the book's focus on motives and aftermath. Or option C, cancel it and give the slot to Hell's Kitchen. Personally, I lean toward A, because here's my theory. The world is starving for more cozy mysteries right now. We've had a decade of gritty dramas and anti-heroes. People want comfort, closure, even if it's predictable. Fox could have owned that space. Instead, they're fumbling it. And let's be real, watching Murder in a Small Town sometimes feels like being gaslit. Like, am I supposed to swoon over this romance? Am I supposed to fear the killer? Am I supposed to laugh at the quirky librarian antics? The show keeps throwing tunnel spaghetti at the wall and nothing sticks. But here's the forbidden knowledge no one at Fox wants to admit: TV audiences are smarter than they think. We know when a show doesn't trust itself. And Murder in a Small Town screams self-doubt in every frame. Now let's dig into what makes this failure so frustrating. Because deep down, Murder in a Small Town has all the DNA of a hit. It's got the quaint setting, the archetypes, even a recognizable book series. It could have been Fox's answer to Only Murders or their own quirky network counter to Netflix's Wednesday. Instead, it's stuck in TV purgatory, wandering around like a character who doesn't know if they're in a rom-com or a horror flick. And here's where things get ironic. Predictability, which most critics call the problem, isn't actually a weakness, it's a superpower. Audiences crave the rush of figuring out the mystery a beat before the detectives do. That little dopamine spike. That's how fandoms are born. It's the same reason people still obsess over Law and Order marathons. Comfort in repetition. But Fox looked at that formula and said, no, let's reinvent the wheel. The result? A square wheel rolling downhill. Let me throw a hypothetical at you. Imagine if Friends didn't know if it was a sitcom or a courtroom drama. One week, Chandler cracks jokes in Central Perk. The next week, Monica is on trial for insider trading. Sure, that sounds like a parody YouTube skit. But it's exactly what Murder in a Small Town feels like. Whiplash Central. And while we're at it, let's call back to our breakdown of Sullivan's Crossing from a few weeks ago. Remember how that show collapsed under its own bizarre plot twist with Maggie's secret husband? Yeah, different genre, same disease identity confusion. Networks keep thinking they can be everything at once. But in TV, if you're everything, you're nothing. Now let's talk about the secrets Fox ignored. First, the books were never cozy romances to begin with. They were sharp, psychological explorations of murder aftermath. That's forbidden knowledge right there. Because once you know it, you can't unsee how badly the show butchered that DNA. Instead of letting Alberg be a brooding lens into morality, they tried to slap a Hallmark movie filter on him. And poor Cassandra. She's caught between genres, like the writers couldn't decide if she's supposed to be a love interest, a detective sidekick, or both. Second, Fox missed the secret sauce of cozy mysteries tone consistency. Think about Murder, She Wrote. Was it predictable? Yes. Was it campy? Absolutely. Did it work for 12 seasons and hundreds of episodes? You bet. Why? Because the tone never lied to you. You always knew you were in a safe, quirky, slightly absurd world where murder could happen over a pie contest and Jessica Fletcher would solve it before dessert. Murder in a Small Town can't commit. 1 second it wants prestige drama gravitas. The next it wants small town charm. That's like eating ice cream with hot sauce on it. Not bad if you meant to do it, but horrifying if you didn't. And honestly, I'll roast myself here. I kept watching season 1 thinking, maybe they'll pick a lane in the finale. Joke's on me, because the finale was as obvious as a neon sign pointing at the killer in episode 1. And instead of leaning into that satisfying reveal, the show acted like it was pulling off some kind of masterstroke twist. I literally yelled at the screen. We knew this 6 weeks ago. My cat judged me for that outburst, by the way. So let's engage here. Drop your confessions in the comments. Have you ever kept watching a show you knew was mid, just because you hoped it would find itself? Because I'm guilty. I stayed through Riverdale's bare, fighting plotline people. I can't judge you. And here's where things get emotional when a show like this fails. It's not just disappointing, it's almost insulting. Because the audience wanted to love it. We were primed, ready, loyal. But instead of trusting us to appreciate the genre for what it is, Fox second-guessed itself. And that hurts more than a bad pilot. It hurts like wasted potential. Now picture this, what if Fox had gone bold in season 2 and leaned into one vision? Imagine Alberg as a fully realized noir anti-hero, the camera lingering on moral gray areas, cases that shake the town to its core, or flip it. What if they leaned all the way cozy? Each week, a murder at the farmer's market, the bake sale, the town hall. Cassandra solves it while juggling community events. A quirky, campy, predictable rhythm. Either version could have worked. Instead, we're stuck in limbo, where no fan base can fully commit. And before we wrap up, let's do a fun callback. Remember when we broke down Dexter, Resurrection, and I said the franchise survived because it knows what it is. Dark, pulpy, morally twisted, and not ashamed of it. That's the missing ingredient here. Self-awareness. Now, closing time. So let's end this like Murder in a Small Town should have ended every episode with clarity. The real reason the show is failing isn't ratings, isn't casting, isn't even streaming competition. It's identity confusion. Until Fox chooses whether this is a cozy procedural or a gritty drama, the show will keep limping along, neither fish nor fowl, and eventually, inevitably, cancelled. And honestly, if it does get cancelled, I won't be shocked. I'll just meme it. You'll see me tweeting, "Ripe Murder in a Small Town, killed by indecision," with the distracted boyfriend meme swapped in. Fox staring at gritty crime dramas while cozy mysteries look sad in the corner. So here's my CTA for you, and I'm serious if you've got a pitch for how you would save this show. Drop it in the comments. Be wild. Murder at a pie eating contest. Cassandra goes undercover at a yoga retreat. Alberg joins The Bachelor. I want your best, your craziest, your most meme-worthy ideas. Because who knows, maybe someone at Fox is watching Breakdown Epic and stealing our forbidden knowledge. Until next time, I'm Sophia, and remember, the best mysteries aren't the ones that confuse you. They're the ones that know exactly what they are. And if Murder in a Small Town ever figures that out, maybe we'll finally get the show we were promised.